back to a good fight. I think that today we're on episode lesson 8. Are we? Yeah. I'm Crew Warwick, or you can just call me Warwick. I'm here with the sensei, Pastor Michael, aka Punching Pastor, because if you come to this sermon, we're gonna lay it down for you. So, anyways, we're having fun. Welcome to lesson number 8, okay? A little regurgitation on some of the stuff we've done already. When we started to look at it, we established our base, okay? We started looking at our rhythm. We started understanding weight distribution. We started looking at footwork together, and we even started then adding the jab, the cross, the low kick. He's wearing pants you can't see. We worked at low kick, okay? The low kick. We looked at the lead push kick, the rear push kick, okay? We also started implementing the hook. We looked at combinations. So if you don't know any of this, you're brand new to martial arts, you're brand new to striking, I really suggest go back to lesson number 1. Start from scratch. We're helping you out. We want to build you from the fundamentals. We're trying to build you up and help you out as best as we can with these video lessons, okay? Now, today we're going to look at is going to be number 1. We're going to come back to that jab and that cross, but we're looking at a separate perspective. We're looking at it from defensive perspective. We're going at it from parries, and we're going to randomize our parries. We're going to come back to the push kicks, okay? We're going to come back to more of the defending of the push kick, and then we're going to end with some knees, okay? The left knee, the right knee, okay? And we're going to use it off versus jab, off of the person's cross. I'm going to wrap it up from there, and we'll move on, okay? So with that being said, let's get into this. So starting with our drill, we're going to look at defensive hand parries. So to start off with, we're in our stance. Our hands are up. I want you to imagine 2 imaginary spheres. So if it starts on my shoulder, it rolls out in front of my nose, up to my eyebrow, it stays there, and it only goes about a fist length out in front of me for now, okay? Same with the left. It stays in these 2 little spheres. Some people call it an X, the Y, and your Z axis if you got a mathematical mind. Okay, we call the back hand, okay, the inner gate, and we call the forward hand, okay, the outer gate. No one should breach your gates, period, okay? So when I'm out here, we're going to parry. I want to grip the hand so that punch comes towards my face. I'm thinking of my wrist, cue the wrist, pull it back, and I'm going to greet. When I greet, my structure is stable, my arm is lax, so I can absorb the shot. If I'm stiff, I'll be getting rocked back even though I'm parrying. Same with the jab, okay? So the jab comes in, I parry, so same with the cross, and I parry the cross. Okay, so we're going to go 1, we're going to go 2, staying in these spheres. So it looks like this. When your partner fires, he's going to go slow and steady, jab, and then cross. He's going to put it together. The shoulder goes pop, it rotates, pop. He's going to wait, set, fire again, hope not smoke me in the mouth. Okay, so he goes 1, pop, and 2. Okay, so again, here's my inner gate, here's my outer gate. You notice here my arms are laxed, and I grip the hand, it's almost like I'm sticking to him. I even try to ride his hand just ever so slightly out of my way. Okay, here's how we don't do it. I get stiff. Okay, a little harder. You'll notice that, go ahead. My whole body's rocking back. I'm exaggerating. I want us to be able to see it. Watch again, okay? So, he fires, inner gate breathes, outer gate breathes. Keep going, staying stable in my stance. Okay, the arms are relaxed. My gaze is on his solar plexus. I'm paying attention to my peripherals, his shoulder and his shoulders as I tune in into his body. Go ahead, okay. It's not tuned in enough. Good job. Okay, so one partner is going to fire for 3 minutes, and then you're going to switch. The other person is going to fire for a steady 3 minutes. to move back to our push kicks. When we're firing the push kicks this time, we're still working on some of our defense. So the partner, he's gonna fire off the lead push kick. When the lead push kick comes in, okay, I'm gonna hook the push kick with my lead hand, okay? I'm gonna pull it off to the side, lift it up like a briefcase, and then I'm gonna throw it back to him. And he's gonna go on the other side. He's gonna create that space, pull it off to the side, lift it up, and give it back to him. And I'm gonna shoot my own. Okay, so go 1, good. He lifts it up, he gives it back, good. And I go 2, both lifts it up, he gives it back, boom. And then he shoots. Okay, so go 1, pull, pull, and then he shoots the other, pull, yep, pull, and give it back. All right. This is gonna be a merge drill, so both of us are gonna be doing it the entire time.
Good. So now we're gonna move on from firing the push kicks, okay, from just defensive, and we're gonna start integrating the hands and the push kicks together. What it's gonna look like is this, okay? I'm gonna shoot my jab, and the partner, he's gonna parry with the rear hand, okay? So I step in, boom. He parries, I pull back. Now, he's gonna step in with a jab, boom. I'm gonna parry, and I'm gonna push kick at the same time. One, I'm gonna push kick a second time at the stomach. Watch again, one more time, okay? So we're here, I go one. I'm gonna push, and jab, boom. Wait for it, boom, and step back, use the push kick. One more time. So watch here, push off that back leg, hover the lead. Jab is the same as if you're stationary. I pull back. The partner's gonna give you a second here, okay, to come back first before he does his jab. One more time, please. Okay, so here it is. One, boom, two, parry, lead push kick, boom,
rear push kick. Do it with control, please. All right? This one person the whole time, and then you change. The other person is going to fire his shots and kindly hit his partner. Let's do that.
simple combination. Well, you know, what are combinations at the end of the day? Okay, vocabulary. It's a vocabulary, a means of communication. You're learning how to talk. Martial arts, nonverbal, of course, okay? Communication, that's what this is. He jabs, he push kicks. You start to understand the nuances of the language. You speak English, you can speak English, but you start speaking another language. You don't understand it. You can speak English and be great at whatever your subject is. You walk in another subject, you don't know a lick of words that are being said. But it's English, isn't it? Every area of fighting has different subjects. How well versed are you in vocabulary? Because once you understand timing and you understand rhythm, you understand feints, okay? These things are great. How do you put them together makes a difference. And in what area are you strong? Where can you communicate and where can't you communicate is also another thing. So you keep this in mind when you're doing combinations like this. You're learning language. You're learning how to communicate, you're learning the vocabulary, different areas that you can use your techniques in, when to use them, how to use them, why to use them, okay? And the last one, you really gotta use your brain. All right, now, we're gonna look at adding a little bit to this sequence of words that we're really talking in. Of course, we don't speak with our mouths here. We get the occasional, right? Okay, from me. Okay, so what it'll look like now is I'm going to jab. Okay, so I fire my jab, he's going to parry. One, boom. Okay, I step back. He fires his jab. I'm going to parry, push kick. Now, this second push kick, okay, he's going to catch it with his right. Okay, he's going to pull it off to the side. He's going to give it back to me. Click, boom. All right. He can catch the first one if he wants, or I jab, boom. On it, he can catch the first one, okay, if he can time it properly. The issue is, it's very, very difficult to catch the lead one, right? So watch this, here's why. So I jab, okay, so I shoot my jab, one, he's open and he's extended. So it means that there's a moment in time, the tool isn't in place for it to move in the time needed in order to successfully grab the tool. Okay, that's timing in essence. When you fire something, under what circumstances do you fire, and that in itself is communication in this art. Okay, so he can only fire or catch that rear leg when I shoot it. So that's going to be the drill. So look at it again. So I shoot my jab, jab comes in, one, he steps in, one, he's going to catch this one, click, boom, he's going to give it back to me. All right, and then he's going to fire the jab. I'm going to fire the jab. I'm going to catch that second one. Go back. Okay, go back and forth. It's a merged drill. Let's try. improving of the lead leg, okay, or leg that is floating in the air for its dexterity and some of its agile strength. So the partner's gonna hold on to the leg. What I'll do at first is I'm gonna sink my center of gravity down, okay, and I'm bringing the weight down on the arm. Here, I'm gonna turn the foot over, bring it in, I'm gonna slightly press, and the entire time, okay, as I do so, I'm pressing, I keep the weight down on the hand. Partner's holding it the whole time, so he's strengthening his arm. Then from here, I'm gonna turn it out and in, I'm gonna press, okay, on his body, and then I'm gonna keep the pressure down. So it goes like this, pressure in, press, pressure out, press, okay? But the whole time, I keep that pressure on him, like this, okay? 1, 2, 3, okay? Then you'll switch. So we're only gonna do 30 seconds per leg, and then we'll switch like that. Well done today. If you made it through the entire training session, I hope you had a lot of fun and you learned something. Now I suggest you do a cool down, okay, and even a warm up. We've got warm up videos that are coming out. You want to make sure that you either are already warmed up or maybe you follow one of our warm up videos to be able to get your body ready for the exercise you're about to do. And do a cool down training, right? You still need a little bit of time to make sure that the body cools down and you get some stretching in while the muscles are nice and warm. So if you like what you saw, I hope that you can like and subscribe, share what it is we're about. Mike, he's always in the back. Stan doesn't he should be the front all the time.
No.
Right, what are we always talking about? We say life can feel like a battlefield. Matt, he says it in the most soothing voice. Can you tell him?
Yeah, there's two stories going on. There's a love story and there's a battle, and it's a war story. And when we lean towards God, when we lean into our brothers and sisters, we're battle ready and we can face it and overcome. Love wins.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what this is about. We don't just train, right? For physical fitness, wonderful. You need all of it. negates disease, increased bone mass, less osteoporosis. You know what I mean? Like you get tons of brain benefits. You're making sure that you feel good in your body, that your hormones are optimal. Everything else is just overall better in your life, and your spirituality increases. You grow closer to God. God gifted you with a wonderful body, and He wants you to honor it as well, because you are a son and a daughter of God, and we know that you need to honor that. Now, that also being said, we train, because training builds a level of fortitude and mental strength in your, okay, and a strength of your spirit. The strength of will to say no when you need to say no, and yes when you need to say yes. And I'm not just talking about if there's conflict. I'm talking about I need to say yes to getting up in the morning. I need to say yes to giving 100% performance and not 70% performance. I need to say no to bad habits. I need to say no to bad thoughts. I need to say no to bad environments, toxic people. So we get rid of that. Training helps you build that level of character to be able to do that. So until next time, God loves you.
God bless you. Keep fighting the good fight.